All right, guys, we're going to cover Bitcoin, a few other cryptos, and then I like to just share a little bit of message based on all the research. A few people that I follow that I believe the way they analyze things actually unfolds. So it's looking like we might be about 3 weeks out. And that 3 week time frame is where we're going to have to buy whatever it is that we're going to buy. But I don't have any evidence to prove that. I'm thinking if that is true, then within this 3 week time frame, we're going to get this crash, pullback, whatever it might be we're getting. Maybe it could be 4 weeks, 4.5, 5 weeks, but I'm thinking maybe 3 weeks. And then things will start moving. So we just got to be patient and be ready for that dip that is going to take place, that I'm thinking it's going to happen. And I believe whatever dip it is, 54K, 56K, 50K, 48K, once we go in this dip and we come out, then we may not see the lower 50,000 range again. And then we're going to slowly make our ascent towards 70K. Well, in this case, let's break 65, then 70, then 75, and go towards 80K. And it could be that the 80K range could arrive by December. So it could be we eventually break past the 65K, and then we may not see below 60 or maybe wick down, but we will move from 60 to 70 and then from 70 and forward. And we could stay around the 60 to 70K range for, let's say, September. And then in October, we start breaking the 70K range, and somewhere in October to November, get towards 75K. And then in November, maybe we start knocking towards 80K range. And slowly in December, we arrive at 80K. Take that with a grain of salt. Again, I have nothing to prove what I'm saying, but based on research, that's what it's looking like. So I'm thinking our accumulation phase that we've been told so many times, this is it, this is it, this is it. I think, guys, this time it might be it. This next opportunity we get might be the last opportunity in the lower 50K range. That being said, let's get into it. And we'll start off with Bitcoin. And we'll start off with the 1 hour chart. So 1 hour chart thinks we're going to go to 58,000. 2 hour chart thinks we're going to get to 62,000. So it's still a little bullish in the 2 hour. 3 hour has a sell signal, thinks we're going to go to 56.6. 4 hour has a buy signal, thinks we're going to get to 63. 5 hour thinks we're going to get to close to 63. 6 hour thinks we're going to get close to 64. 7 hour thinks we're going to get to 63. 8 hour thinks we're going to get to 63. Now that's what the charts are showing. So let's look at something a little bit more simple. So let's look at this 8 hour chart, just so we have to not look at too many candles. So this is the trend we're going down right now. And if you look at it, we got a wick. It got pushed down a little bit, but never broke out of the trend line. Then we got this candle, never broke out of the trend line. So this is the trend line. We're waiting for it to break out to work towards the 63K range, but it's just not taking place. Let's look at the 4 hour chart. And I'm going to turn off Lux Algo really quick so you can see the candle. This is as close to an indecision candle we're going to get. This is a little bit bearish because bigger wick on the top. This was a little bit more bullish green candle. This is a little bit stronger bearish candle because of the wick, and it got pushed down. Couldn't close at the top right here. Now if we look at the 1 day chart, look at this candle. This candle right here, I'm going to draw it out, did fill up almost like this with a little bit of wick on the bottom. But look, it got pushed down. That candle has a long wick. The sellers just wouldn't accept it and compress the price back in the box and brought it pretty low. Now you got this little candle, little indecision, but still you can see the wick on the top is less. I'm thinking maybe the next candle might be red and just continue to come towards this yellow middle part of the trend we're in right now. And if we were to zoom out a little bit, turn off that pattern and go to the main master pattern, look at it. Bitcoin tried to get to this on our master pattern. This yellow line just couldn't break through. As of right now, we have one touch here, but that touch doesn't count because it's part of going down. But we have one touch here, two touch here, three touch here, and almost a fourth touch. This line just keeps rejecting Bitcoin back down. So until Bitcoin breaks this line, I'm still not looking at Bitcoin as bullish. I'm still thinking at some point it's going to give us a down movement. When? I don't know. Now let's get into a few other tokens. So let's get into KASPA and let's turn Lux back on. So as you look at it, this master pattern here, KASPA is on the lower part of our pattern. It just couldn't break this areas. So KASPA struggling to break through this 17.5 cents range. So what's going on with our friend KASPA? So let's look at the 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart has a sell signal. It thinks we're going to go to 15.5 cents. 2 hour chart thinks we're going to go back to close to 17. 3 hour thinks we're going to go to 17.5. 4 hour thinks we're going to go down to 14.5 cents. 5 hour thinks we're going to go down. So I look at the longer time frame. 4 hours is my favorite. If I had to pick now and we go based on 4 hour, I think we have a higher chance to break 15 cents as it stands now versus hitting 17 cents. So let's get into the next one, Turbo. If you look at Turbo, on the 1 hour chart, it thinks Turbo is going to go to 0.086. On the 2 hour, it thinks we're going to go to 0.036. On the 3 hour, it's still bullish. 4 hour, my favorite, still bullish. 5 hour is bullish. So let's go back to that 2 hour chart. So as it stands now, I think we have a good chance to break 0.04. Not enough indication to see where Turbo is going as it stands now. I would say we stay within 0.039 to 0.041. Let's go to Ondo. Now Ondo on the 1 hour chart is a little bit bullish, but as you can see, this signal is not valid because we got a pump on the second candle and we touched the target of 74 cents. So therefore 74 cents is a resistance right now. If you go to 2 hour chart, it thought we were going to go to 76 cents, but it hasn't materialized. We're at 74. No, we're at, where is it? Where's the price? We're at 67 cents. So I don't think we're going to go to 76, but let's see. The 3 hour chart thinks it's also, let me see. It's also under a sell signal. It thinks we're going to drop to 62 cents. Let me go back to the 2 hour chart. Yeah, so it's bullish. 4 hour chart, which again, I tell you is my favorite. It thinks Ondo has a good shot to break 60 cents. So right now as it stands, I would go with the 60 cents target for Ondo and then let Bitcoin make a decision. Bitcoin hasn't made a decision yet. Let's look at Stacks, a position that I do want to enter. It's just not happening as it stands right now. But Stack on the 1 hour chart thinks we're going to go to 142. 2 hour chart thinks we're going to go to 155. 3 hour chart also thinks we're going to go to 160. 4 hour chart thinks we're going to go to 166. Bitcoin hasn't decided which way it's going to break. So until Bitcoin comes down below, let's say 58K or close, Stacks is not going to change. It may have to drop a little bit below 58,000, maybe even 57.6, 57 for Stacks to start giving us more sell signals. Let's go to Arrow really quick. Arrow on the 4 hour chart still thinks we're going to go to below 60 cents, but more close to 58 cents. let's look at ABT. Now, ABT is something I've been wanting to talk about. I'm not going to talk about it much because I'm going to wait till the dip to be a little bit stronger. Now, if I turn off Lux Algo, you can see it's giving us 3 red candle. I didn't finish my candle study, but usually when you get 3 candles like this, I believe it's called a black crown. This is also a signal of things going down and is reversing back. Now for ABT, we're going to go ahead and look at on the 1-day chart. Now it's a red candle, but you can see finally ABT did pop a candle up above the trend line. So the trajectory of ABT might change. ABT might move this way. And if this is ascending, then it might break down. So it did, well, it's working on going on a separate direction, but it hasn't made up its mind. So we need more candles to see what is the direction ABT is gonna go on. But it's gonna go on an ascending pattern that's then gonna cause us to break down. But I'm biased with ABT. I think ABT has a lot of artificial pumps going on, but I can't prove it to you. But that's just what I feel. ABT is very abnormal how it moves. Today in Discord, when we had a pump, I suggested around the 165, 170, even 160 cents range. It might be good to exit a small portion of ABT, let's say 25%. So I personally had a target of 163. And if you sold, let's say a little bit of ABT at 163 to 165, and now you decided you wanted to buy ABT again, ABT is showing that, hey, look, 147, you would have ended up with more crypto tokens than before you sold it. Now I'm going to turn on Lux Algo really quick. Let's see what's going on a quicker time frame. So the 1-hour chart just got a sell signal, and let me zoom in. If you want to know what the target is, in about 20 minutes and 19 seconds, we're going to get a target on the 1-hour chart. Let's look at 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart still has a buy signal. 3-hour chart still has a buy signal. 4-hour chart has a buy signal. So for now, I'm not going to worry about all that. I'll look at short term. That ABT for now, it's probably going to go down to 140. If you look at this buy signal that triggered today, it went on a pump. It almost hit our target line, which is 168. So for now, if ABT decides to pump for any reason that is unknown to us, then ABT is probably going to get rejected at 168. And if you look at this line and this line started turning a little bit, thinking that the cloud was going to go upside, but it kind of paused. I think this is a good strong resistance. ABT is going to have a hard time breaking out from 155 to 185 range. But if I had to put my money on it, I think ABT is slowly going to travel a little bit more down and maybe come back around the 140 to 135 cents range. So let's go to the next one. I told a friend of mine that's in my Discord that, hey, I'm going to cover a couple of your coins. So one of the coins he wanted to know about was Ondo. I'm speaking really quick because I want to take care of this really fast. My wife and my child, I sent them out because I was doing a little bit of work. So I want to go ahead and get this covered, and then I'm going to go back to my work. But I do want to make sure I get this coin covered. So let's look at SUI really quick. I have a phone call, so I had to go put it on silent. And really quick, I'm going to put it on mute because they're interrupting my video. I'm already 13 minutes in. I don't want to restart the video. So let's look at SUI if we zoom out. But I'm going to use the 1-day chart just to look at less of the candles. So you can see right here, SUI went on a descending pattern. Then it broke up into this green pattern. It went this way. It entered a, what is that called? I have a cheat sheet. So it looks like to me it's a bullish wedge. The reason I think this wedge is bullish, I'm going to go on a shorter time frame just to show you. So what a bullish wedge shows me on the cheat sheet is if it comes from the bottom, enters the wedge and goes down this way, then it's going to break to the upside. So eventually when SUI does finally decide to break to the upside, now again, I'm going to take a shortcut just to show it to you. So this pump started here. So if I was to assume it's going to break out here, I'm just drawing a line that looks just equal to this. Eventually when SUI does break out, I believe SUI is gonna go to 112. The rule of the wedge says, hey, you take the biggest movement up, which is this line right here. You move it over to wherever you think the breakout is, and that's gonna tell you how it's gonna move and eventually get to the target. So that gives me a target of 112 when SUI actually decides to break out of this descending pattern. Now, well, it's called a bullish wedge. That being said, if you look at SUI on the 4-hour time frame, it does think SUI is gonna go to 77.8, so I would put 80 cents as my first buying target on SUI. If the target changes on that, then I will let you know down the line. Let's go to Python. Now Python, or PYTH. So if you look at it, and again, I'm just gonna do this quick. It went on a descending pattern. I just kept the pattern really big, entered into this pattern, ascending pattern, then it broke to the downside. And then it came down, moved here, entered this little green pattern. So let's zoom in and look at this green pattern that's being worked on. So same thing, ascending parallel pattern, eventually will break to the downside. We're already getting some signal that it wants to break to the downside. If you draw a line here, actually let me remove that. If you draw a line here, then you can see just from the top, the candles are slowly starting to move out. So PYTH is at 28 cents. I think if you look at it slowly, PYTH is gonna go down. Now it can always change back up. So I'm gonna look at it some shorter time frame and see what's going on. PYTH on the 1-hour chart thinks it's gonna go to 30 cents. On the 2-hour chart thinks it's gonna go to 31 cents. On the 3-hour chart, it thinks it's gonna go to 32 cents. On the 4-hour, it thinks it's gonna also go past 31 cents. So I'll look at it a shorter time frame. The 45-minute chart thinks it's also a little bit bullish, close to 33 cents. The 30-minute chart also thinks it's gonna go up. All the direction on PYTH is looking like it's gonna go up, except for the 15-minute chart, which can take place in a couple hours. And it thinks we're gonna go to 0.2831, which isn't a much difference than 0.2867 that it's on right now. So if I personally was gonna buy it, I would either accept the price where it is now, or I would be patient, let Bitcoin pull back a little bit, and then I would decide to re-enter. All that being said, I just want to wrap it up by saying this to you guys. You know, none of us know what's going on. All YouTubers, they have different agendas. Their agenda could be for more views, more more YouTube earning, how to get more views so that way their algorithm is increasing and more people will see it. So sometimes they're not thinking about, hey, when I tell this guy this crypto is going to hit 50x, that this guy is going to be dumb enough to go ahead buy the crypto thinking 50x and he's going to lose money. They might not even be thinking that. They're just thinking, hey, whatever I got to say to get the view and to be the bullish, because no one really knows where we're going. So don't let all the YouTubers just make you think, oh my gosh, everything is going to skyrocket and go crazy. And they might, but don't let that target be the reason you buy. It's hard to research crypto. Once you research crypto, most crypto is going to sound good to you. If you're in the market for 4 to 6 months, you have seen which crypto drops and how they recover. If your crypto, when it drops, it doesn't recover very well every time it drops, then that's probably not a good crypto to have. I want a crypto that has a good spring and bounce to the leg. So if my crypto dropped 50% and let's say I enter $1,000, I want that crypto to bounce back. When all the cryptos are bouncing back and the average of the top 20 cryptos that I like are bouncing back 50%, but this one crypto bounced back 20%, then something is wrong with this crypto. If it's that great, it should bounce back. It doesn't matter what the utility is. The people decide what crypto is good, and if it has great movement, great spring to the leg, then that's a crypto to have. I'm already at 19 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you some insight. I'm just thinking, hey, we may have 3 weeks left to get one good buy-in. I'm still expecting one good crash to take place, and then once the market recovers and starts trending towards the upside, that's when things are gonna move, and we may take the next leg up. We may not see certain range. So in my mind, what does that mean? I would say 45,000 to 50,000 is one leg. 50,000 to 55,000 is one leg. 55 to 60 is one leg. 60 to 65, 65 to 70, and you get the point. So you may not see the leg of 45 to 50 again. 50 to 55 again. You may see 55 and up going forward, or eventually if the legs go high enough, then you may just see from 60 and up, and Bitcoin may linger there, and then slowly when the time comes, Bitcoin will move up. That's my definition of what I think a leg is. And Bitcoin, since it's the compass to everything, it's going to give us a good direction. Till next time, peace.